classification of these people, the new ones with new ideas, and those that may want to continue with the legacy of John Mahama.
Are they ones with new ideas?
Obviously, who are new to this and who like her to begin.
No, listen. People may want to come out with.
No, but why does his name elicit laughter? He's a serious candidate.
Listen,
I remember he said it here that is what?
He's considering making Mahama his vice president.
He said he's a handsman.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna listen. If you've listened to Spio Gabra, he has been kind of a different mindset and how he intends spending a week at the party's office to interact with the people. He has his own way of wanting to lead the party. Mahama will definitely go back to what he did in 2016 to 2012, 2013, 2014 to 2016, the legacy he left behind, to build on that. So automatically, that's how it's going to be. One person who wants to continue what he did, a new entrant who may want to revamp the party. As Elvis said, that there's total disunity within the NDC, and they should unite. So people may want to capitalize on that and say, hey, our party, we are not together, we need to come together and do what is needful, if indeed we want to win power in 2020. So it's just going to be an interesting terrain.
Interesting. So on this interesting note, with regards to the National Democratic Congress, the main opposition party in the country, will take a break. This is Press Conference on City TV. We'll be right back.
You're in tune to the Breakfast Daily on City TV. Stonebwoy SSO. Keep it locked. Don't log off.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
And that is the reason I was making the point to him that I refrained from responding to this Joyce Bauer statement. Because if some citizens have accused President Mahama of diverting a certain amount of money, deal with that, deny same, and move on with your life.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
I said, property tax, I will pay. If you come to my house, I'll cut you a check. But when did I do my presentation? February?
Yes.
Or February, yes, sometime. Nobody has come to my house.
Really?
Ghana is broke. And, that's the reality we must all come to live with.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Welcome back to Press Conference on City TV. Just before we went on that break, my guest Elvis Edward and Kofi Owe were discussing the return of John Dramani Mahama back into the fold of the NDC to contest for the flag bearership slot of that party, and backbench and popular comment with regards to how Mahama ran the affairs of the country. We have a message here from a viewer who has some thoughts to share on the program. He says it's called Kwesi Wilson. He says, I think we are being unfair to Bagbin. Bagbin never questioned the competence of a blind man or a stammerer. Beyond emotions, Bagbin spoke the truth. He was only exposing the leadership disability of JDM. How can a stammerer communicate effectively? How can the blind work with chiefs when the chieftain's institution does not welcome any form of disability into their palace? So it's a clear case of square pegs in round holes, assuming Kojo Oppong Nkrumah heading the Ministry of Zongo and Inner Cities. Clearly, it doesn't make sense. That is Kwesi Wilson with that message. Keep it coming via the WhatsApp line 0549986996 and on our Facebook feed, City TVGH. We would go to the second topic for discussion, the issue of the 2 billion Sino-Hydro deal, which is the Chinese company Sino-Hydro is going to give government of Ghana $2 billion worth of infrastructure in roads, in bridges, by way of housing units, by way of hospitals and other infrastructure. And in return for that, we would be paying with bauxite or alumina or aluminium. So bauxite, the raw material, alumina, which is semi-finished, and aluminium, which is finished, it's a finished product. Two pieces of legislation. That's the Master Support Project Agreement, and then the Ghana Bauxite and Integrated Development Authority. These two pieces of legislation, first the agreement was signed, approved by Parliament, and then the bill, that's the Ghana Bauxite and Aluminium Integrated Development Authority, was also passed in Parliament. These are two critical bills that would ensure that this deal goes through, or it works as expected. But news emerged in the course of the week that apparently after losing the debate on the floor of the House because of their numbers, the minority, in a letter to the IMF representative in Ghana, copied to the World Bank and other international organizations, to the Finance Ministry as well, signed by himself and minority spokesperson on finance, Kesla Atufosin, and sought some clarification because according to them, there must be clarity as to whether this is a loan or this is a barter agreement. I begin with you, Elvis. Many people are saying that the minority is being relentless in its fight against this deal because on the floor of Parliament, sitting observing proceedings from the public gallery, the argument was forcefully made that this was a loan and was not a barter agreement, and government was blatantly telling lies to its teeth. Government majority with these numbers passed it, but now they've gone to the IMF for clarification and possible cancellation of this agreement because we are under an extended credit facility program with the IMF. Sabotage or a good call for democracy?
First of all, you see, we need to understand that as a country we have relied on loans to develop. But the question is, where have we been with all these loans? Because the loans comes with coupon rates, which are the interest rates. So you are not only paying back the loan, but you are paying back the loan with huge interest. That we have been to the IMF and the World Bank and these Bretton Woods institutions. And we've been to them for 16 times. And the IMF and the World Bank and any other institution. The solution, we should differently as to how we can. We are unable to raise domestic revenue. We are not doing enough production. The system, the whole system we are in does not support production at the moment. So it's difficult to say revenue to a certain level to support development. So obviously we needed the money from somewhere. So if the loans that we have relied on since independence to today have not really helped us, I think that it's about time we should begin to look at some of these things in a different way. Okay, so if we are going for $2 billion and the minority is asking the IMF for explanation, it's for infrastructure. Well, we say we are trading our bauxite. The question I ask myself is, what are the terms that we are in the bauxite to get into much interest that? So obviously we should be told that
were presented by the majority or the government. A press briefing in Parliament after this deal was signed. So it has various, explanation of what really the deal is about. And the explanation of this, and so this infrastructure.
How much? 2 billion, 2.2 and the bauxite. and take the money, the foreign exchange, or they only be mining the bauxite? How are we going to make sure that the bauxite that is going to be mined, we have stringent system to make sure that somebody does not take away tons and say I've taken away 7 tons. What are the structures in the system to make sure that the company that is coming in does not end up shortchanging us? We have mined gold in this country. Question: what have we? If we have to trade our natural resources for development, it will be a fantastic idea if the deal tells us how it benefits us. The people who are coming to exploit the bauxite, they are not going to shortchange us in any way. That at the end of the day, we can say indeed, instead of going for a loan with this coupon rate, we have rather gone for a deal that has given a lower coupon rate to the person who is giving us the money. For me, that is key. We built a Atuabo plant. Today, it's generating so much money. We are heading to almost $1 billion. We spent $1 billion to build the plant. But less than 3-4 years of operation, we are almost going to pay off. So if we are taking the money to put in such projects that will generate revenue and pay back the cost, that is fantastic. And for but that project, if we are not doing it that way, but we'll go and take money and we will not be transparent with how things are done, and we will not know how the money is going to pay it back, then we are going to have a problem, just like we go for any other loan. So for me, the loans have no help us for development. That's fine. But on the deal, 800 million, so it will be 2 billion, or they are bringing in 2 billion. By the time bauxite, they will take 2.2 billion, so their interest is 200 million. This is so that give us 2 billion and ended up taking 4 billion out of Ghana. Then that one will be losing in the deal. So the government needs to give us better and further particulars as to the terms and the conditions of the deal. If you give me projects that will be funded, just through the bauxite, it's only 2 billion or more than 2 billion.
So a billion in terms of metric tons, in terms of the.
I think the vice president even said that we have over 460 billion.
Is what will be taken out.
So let's make sure 2 million metric tons at what price in the world market.
So we have
it's not about only find agreements and put stability clauses in the agreement. And gold price at the time we're signing the agreement, gold was sold at $400 and a ton. At the time, last 2 years, 3 years, gold was selling off. And the company said because you have stability clauses, if you have signed the agreement, that is key.
Let's take the views of. Let me take the view of Edward. And we were talking about the Atuabo. Before the Atuabo, the collateral was our oil.
Yes, and now
it's almost paying it off.
It's paid off.
Okay.
I think Elvis just finished the matter for me because first of all, I don't see why asking for information. You see, aside the fact that Minority wrote to IMF to seek for information, which suggests some mischief, you know, at the same time to maybe because the minority asking similar questions, but
the letter was copied to the finance minister
and they didn't get response from there. So I think that it is all in the interest of trying to get more in. So
you don't sense any sabotage?
I don't need to. Once at the end of the day, the good people of Ghana benefit from it, I'm good with that. Because I think to some extent, that's what they are there to do in Parliament. Let's take away the NDC MPP stuff. They're supposed to give us good value for money. And they've not been doing that so much. So if they decide to do that now, whether they put a political cap on to do it or not, I'm cool. But there seems to be this thing going on because maybe it's the first time we have a clear majority and then a minority in Parliament. So they seem to be clashing almost every time, needlessly. Because this is a subject I think, I mean, in the interest of the people, these two people should have been able to solve it at the committee level. Because this thing, it goes to the committee.
Yes, it was at the finance committee.
It travels from that level to the floor. We have a problem in the system that we are actually operating. It creates that. It's
a disagreement that started right from the court. So there was still the disagreement about whether it was a loan
so
or
you
was
don't
barter.
proceed.
And the key thing is that if it's a loan, it's going to add to the debt stock.
Don't
affect GDP to affect to GDP. And that's a huge point of
shouldn't be concerned about whether it's a loan or it's a trade deal. Concerned about the benefits that the country stands to gain.
Elvis, you can't take the politics out of this.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't take the politics out
of this. Let's face the and bring roads, hospitals. There's a loan of what matters. It's a trade deal.
Duke, governance is a serious business, and we shouldn't play with it to demand. If you're going to use our bauxite, our natural resource, to get 2 billion, 2 billion for
leverage
for and supposed to be used. But the point is, we are in this country where about 50 people, 2,000 is 50 and doing able to this issue. Well, it is clear if the minority have actually written to the IMF to get further explanation as to whether this is a normal barter, and at the end of the day, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, bauxite, and then back, we are getting from this. At the end of the day, profit for when the is extracted, they make it to Ghana, and hospitals are 2 billion on the paper, and tell us. And these are very gullible, because at the end of the day, so we have the money is in, and you see some asphalting being done here and there. They will tell you that actually we had the money from the Chinese people and we are doing the work. This is very easy to be done in this country.
Some of the projects, I mean, when the president went on the nationwide, I mean, some of the regional tours, some of the projects that were actually mentioned, and from this money means, but we have just.
We talk about smart borrowing in this country. Smart borrowing.
This is leveraging. That's what the
now we've gotten to a point.
Let's do the last bit of it. To accept or rejection of the ambassadorial posting of his husband.
And based on emotions, they will one day tell themselves.
I mean, no particular reason that the husband, ex-husband,
if they of their emotions, they were emotional. For me, I think that they should be careful. They will one day regret it, but it is real. But for me, running battle, which obviously has put the government and the party in bad light, and these are issues that you realize that shouldn't have ended that way. So for me, if the president past event decisions, definitely will regret one day. But if it's a decision they took because they are convinced and they thought through it and they think that
she was first appointed, I thought it was a
transitioning from National Women's Organization.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about when they came to government, and then, you know, a few on the but nobody. We are not here to talk about. Bugui Nabro, as she was in his flesh, it was about the two.
For vice president, that's what Edward would have been a transition from honorable to Her Excellency.
The point is, whatever who is sick and I need to take care of him, and I want to bow from active politics, and I don't have to travel to eat. So letting somebody to occupy that ministry, the gender and children, is it because you're supposed to?
There is to be a party.
To be a party.
Of course, and that's
of course, man, for political appointment.
Are virtually selling the whole country to the Chinese. Good night.
For regular 2020 news, all day, all the time.
For the title, Borussia Dortmund.